Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO set 8831. LEGO Minifigures series number 7 is for ages 5 and up, and this little pouch here retails for $2.99. And for that price you get one minifigure at random, and since there are 16 altogether, you will spend at least 48 bucks just to collect them all. And while I'm here, I would like to give a shout out to Megadici, LEGO Cat Guy 108, SJ Chelios 022, the Minifig Boy 1212, and the Laugh Daily, because they are the subscribers who had requested that I review this series. So everyone, check out their channels. And moving forward, here in the front we can see some of the minifigures. I'll have more on that later. And here in the back, we see not much, but down here we have the usual dot codes, and I'll show you how to read them for this particular set. But they're really not that accurate, and I'll explain how to feel for them, which is a lot better. And here we go. Here are the minifigures, and first up is the swimming champion. And my reaction when I first saw her was, finally, we have another chick in a swimsuit, and she looks pretty good. And if she asks you, what are you staring at? You say, oh, I'm just looking at your medal. Which, by the way, is what you feel for if you're looking for her, because she is pretty difficult to figure out from the others. And her medal is actually a hard plastic, it's not rubber or anything. And here's what it looks like from behind. And I kind of wish that she came with some hair. This way it looks even better. But on a brighter note, she does come with an alternate face that is pretty cute. Up next is the Aztec Warrior, which, as you can see, they did a very splendid job of the details there. I love the helmet, which is in the shape of an eagle beak. And there's the printing there. And they have some printed feathers there on the shield. And personally, I find the helmet to be a little bit too much to take into battle, especially when you can use some armor for the rest of the body and your other vital organs. And there's his face without the helmet. And I do like how they have that little minifig head right there in the middle. I thought that was pretty comical. And he's got a rubber tipped spear. And they kind of neglected the back. But anyway, to find them is not hard, because this helmet piece is actually like the biggest piece out of the whole set. And it is easily confused with the shoulder pad for the Galaxy Patrol. So make sure you feel for the shield and the spear, just to make sure that you have them. Up next is the bunny suit guy, who looks pretty comical at first, but he's actually not that bad. I like that pink belly over there. And the bunny ears are pretty cool too. And this is what you feel for when you're looking for him. Just make sure you get this groove in there. And to confirm it, just feel for the stem on the carrot stick too. And he looks pretty happy for a bunny suit guy. Usually the ones I've met in real life aren't very happy, and I can only wonder why. And there's the view of the back, where he's got a bunny tail, which I imagine is very uncomfortable when you're sitting down, especially when it gets wedged up in there. Next is the bride, who also looks really happy. That is until you tell her that her lipstick's not on straight. And plus the fact that the groom's not here would upset things pretty quick. Anyway, all that aside, she does have really good looking printing, because it's in a pearl silver color, so it makes her dress look really elegant. And it's on the bottom of the dress too. And this is what you feel for when you're looking for her, although don't stop there, because you might confuse her with the Viking woman, because she's also wearing a dress. So make sure you feel for the flowers, the stem, and the crown. And the flowers, by the way, come with an extra one, like an extra petal. And here's the view of the back, which is pretty plain. Although what I like about her is that she has this veil here. And granted, it's not perfect, because I would have preferred it to cover the face as well, and make it see-through too. This way you're not marrying the wrong person. After all, you don't want to end up on the Maury show. And the way this veil is held down is pretty much pinned down by the crown there. And it looks like this. There we go. Now to check out the Ocean King, who is really buffed for an old guy. I guess if you swim enough, you'll get the same effect. Anyway, to find them, you just feel for the tail fin there, and that alone should give it away. And here's the view of the back. And to confirm it, you can always feel for the crown as well, which is one piece. You should just feel for the 5 pointy seashells up there. And if you want, go for the fork as well. And here's what it looks like after a major shave. And there he is up close. Not very happy, is he? And there's his body. Next, we'll check out the bagpiper, who actually looks pretty good. And let's take a closer look at the bagpipe, because this is like the highlight of this minifigure. And this is what you feel for when you're looking for him. Just feel for this part right here, and that should do it. And here's the back of it, where it's pretty hollow, so this way you know. And there's his face. And if you want, you can also feel for the hat too, because he's got like this stub in the middle there. And the only thing I don't like about him is that he's wearing this kilt. and I think it should have been printed. He does come with printed leggings. If you look at it, he's wearing briefs. And if you look at the Jungle Boy, they printed the rags on him to cover his life savings. So I think printing the Kill 2 would have been much better, especially when in the back here we have like this slit right there. But no, now he's got to walk down the street in the parade, and the camera's going to show this to the world. Great. Next up is the Daredevil, and somehow I was expecting a younger person, but he does come with a helmet, so now you can't really tell his age from far away. And there we are. Nice uniform, and it'll probably get ruined after the stunt. Here's the view of the back where it's pretty plain, and he does have an alternate face where he's like, "Mommy!" Up next is the Galaxy Patrol, which is now my most favorite minifigure. Actually, let me be more specific. This is my favorite male minifigure, and the reason why is because this is the closest I've seen a minifig look like a Terran Marine from StarCraft 2. Granted, he could use bigger shoulder pads, but still, he looks really cool, and it sure beats building my own. So naturally, I went out there and I bought 8 more, because you never know when I'll make a StarCraft 2 stop motion. So that's why that's there. So let's take a closer look. And here's the side, where he's got a picture of the planet with the ship around there. There's the back. It's a really cool suit. I love the helmet, and I like the screen on his face there. It's like a tactical computer. And he has an alternate face where the screen comes off. And there he is. Pretty neat. Even has some printed details there under the shoulders too. And there we are. It says Louise. And too bad there's nothing on the back. And he comes with one little gun. And to find them, you just simply feel for the shoulder pads. Although, don't stop there because you could get him confused with the Aztec Warrior. So just make sure you feel for the gun as well, and that should do it. Here is the Tennis Ace, who's actually pretty simple. He's got the outfit, he's got the headband, and it looks like he's trying a little too hard. There's nothing on the back, and to find him, you just feel for the tennis racket, and you're good to go. Up next is Jungle Boy, and here he is. He looks pretty cut, literally, because he's got some scrapes there on his chest. And here's the view of the back, where he could use some extra foliage to cover his butt. And to find him, you simply feel for his monkey. I know it sounds bad, but that's really the only way. Just mostly feel for the arm there, because it is a pretty unique feel. And in addition, you can feel for the daggers as well. In the picture, you only see one dagger, but daggers usually come in pairs, and they're usually hooked up by this piece right there. And that's how you find them. Now to check out the hippie, and he actually looks pretty good. He's got the tie-dyed shirt, which looks really good. And he's got a vest over it. And there's the back where there's nothing. I love the face too. It looks like he's experiencing an alternate state of mind. That sounds like fun. And oh look, flowers. How nice. And that's what you feel for when you're looking for them. Just feel for the stem and the petals, which there are also 4 of them, by the way. And you also have to make sure that you don't feel a dress either. Otherwise you might be getting the bride too. You can also feel for the hair if you like, but I do find that to be a little more challenging. And this is a hard plastic piece. And there we go. Next is the computer programmer. And he reminds me of myself about 15 years ago. The only difference is that I didn't have my mom dress me up. And that's what I think of his outfit over there. And I like the cup though. That's a really nice touch. And here's the view of the back where it's plain. And this right here is a laptop, which you can actually open up too. And there we go. Pretty simple. Now to check out the Viking woman. And she's a pretty interesting character. She looks like the type who wears the pants in a relationship. And I guess that's understandable because she does have an alternate face where she's singing. And she is singing from the top of her lungs until your ears bleed. And you don't want that to happen. So that's fine. She could wear the pants. But you still have to listen to me. Anyway, this headpiece is actually one piece. The horns are separate though. And to find her, you simply feel for her dress. But don't stop there because you might confuse her with the bride. So just make sure you feel for the shield as well, which looks pretty plain. And that's how you know you have her. And let's take a closer look at the details there. And that looks pretty good. And I guess she's pretty ideal for like the opera muck if you want to do that. Next is the Evil Knight. And he looks really pissed off. Maybe possessed even. And when you take the helmet off, he actually looks worse. Clearly he had some trouble growing up. I guess his parents never bought him Lego sets. And look at how he turned out. Let that be a lesson to all of us. On a brighter note, he does have some pretty good looking details there. I like the shield, even though he serves a nation of warthogs. And the armor looks really cool with all the spikes there. And we have it there on the pants too. Really cool looking. And here's the view of the back where it's plain. And beneath the armor, it's actually pretty plain. And to find them, you just simply feel for the shield, because it is a unique shape within the set. And you can feel for the sword too, and that should do it. Next is the rocker girl, and she looks pretty well dressed. Let's take a closer look at that. And her hair is actually a hard piece, it's not rubber or anything, so clearly she went overboard with the hairspray. But there's her face, and she looks pretty cute. There's the back, where it's really plain, and I think for her they should have added some printing to the back. This way the design actually matches up with the front. And here's a close look at the guitar. It's white and looks pretty cool. And this is what you feel for when you're looking for her. Just make sure you get that groove in there. Last but not least, we have the Grandma Visitor, who is pretty much a Little Red Riding Hood, or Hoodwink even. And to find her is pretty simple, because she's the only one with the short legs, so you can feel for that. And it also helps to feel for the basket, which is this soft plastic rubber. And as you can see, it's pretty empty inside, so it's pretty pointless to visit Grandma. You can't go empty-handed. And there's the bottom. You can actually attach it to the two studs. And here's the view of the back, where there's nothing. And let's take a close look at her face. She has some little freckles there. Nice kid. And I think that just about covers it. And now we can move on to the recommendations. Overall, this is a really good series, and I definitely recommend getting it. When it comes to the value, it's pretty good because these are, after all, a collectible, so the value can only go up over time. And plus, they're really compatible with other LEGO sets, so you can't really go wrong with this one. And in the end, I do feel that the selection of characters are pretty good in this series, because we have the Galaxy Patrol, which kind of reminds me of the Terra Marines, which is really neat. And we have a chick in a swimming suit, which is a nice plus. And I know that the hippie is a pretty popular one, because when I was searching for these, a lot of kids were asking me to help them look for that one. So in the end, I think this is a really cool series. I think you'll like it, and it's definitely a worthwhile one to get. And that sums up my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.